What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is January the 27th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing on this fun Monday morning. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So no data points of substance coming out on a larger scale today, but you have the market really selling off. So NASDAQ is down 3.67%, S&P down 2.01%, and Dow is down slightly 0.63%. It's kind of recovering a little bit, but still it's definitely a bloodbath out there. And it's more so just associated to the tech race. So I'm sure a lot of people over this last weekend has heard of a DeepSeek. So ultimately it goes to show very comparable to ChatGPT, but supposedly they don't need all that much chips. So it's a little bit more efficient. And again, that's really what is prompting a massive sell-off in the tech sector. And then just bigger picture kind of goes to show that maybe the states might not be in the lead as what they once thought. So a little bit more interesting of a day, but you have this still not moving. So this essentially is broken for all extensive purposes, but hopefully they do fix it, like I said. So today's an interesting day. Starting off with SoFi, they are down 11.5%. It did go down because of just the broader circumstances that's happening, but it did have a momentary spike to pretty much around where it is now, so 1792, because of their earnings. So big day today, and essentially I think the earnings call is underway or will be underway shortly. But as far as this, very good numbers as per usual. I'll do a dedicated video to SoFi, of course, later today going over all of this, but I think their future guidance, it looks like they did miss. So maybe that could be also one attributing factor why SoFi is going down, but SoFi is a little bit getting hit a little bit more than the broader market. So something just to keep in mind. Shorts right now aren't really doing anything, but I do anticipate them to really double down and increase. So 11.82% of the free float is being shorted. So that's what to just be aware of that. And as far as some strong support and resistance points with that at 1533, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 1473 will be the next strong support. Potentially it's could actually be hit today, so just again, just take note of that. Aside from that, 1411, flip side 1572, and then 1672 as following resistance / target points. I think there's going to be a massive amount of volatility. Even if you take SoFi's earnings out of the mix, I think it was going to be fairly volatile regardless because of just the broader circumstances. But now throw in earnings, you're going to have a lot of back and forth. So again, just kind of take note of some of the strong support and resistance points. But moving on, pretty much every other stock I'm going to be talking on is down because of DeepSeek. So no actual news such as NVDA. So they are getting slaughtered, down 11.59%. So if you have cash on hand, today might be a very good day to potentially buy the dip, but you do whatever floats your boat. If you do think that American tech stocks are behind China and behind the gun, then definitely maybe stay in cash possibly. But as far as NVIDIA, not heavily shorted, not a squeeze play, but 1.19% of the free float's being shorted. Works out to be $39.9 billion. So kind of crazy the fact that this is not a squeezable stock or a short stock, but there's more dollar value just shorting NVIDIA than many market caps out there. So I find that interesting and kind of comical. But right now with that 126 and change, just trading between this S1 and S2. So 123 will be the next strong support. 128 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I have a weird feeling that NVIDIA will get bought up. So it might potentially move to this S1. But once the market does open, you never know, right? Majority of the market is sheep. So they like to kind of follow the trend. So they might panic sell and whatever else. But aside from that, you also have Palantir down 6.22%. And on a side note, of course, these videos are based on typically volume. So this is what big money is doing. They are, for whatever else they are selling. So again, something just to kind of factor in, but 3.77% of the free float's being shorted. So same goes for NVIDIA, not a squeeze play. But in fact, shorts have also been returning quite a lot. So I think they've been anticipating more of a breakout for Palantir, and they do have their earnings right around the corner. I think this is also just very interesting timing. The fact that a lot of big tech has their earnings this week, and then this news drops, like, seems to be overnight. I could be wrong unless I haven't paid attention to that, but I feel like it's just happened this weekend. That seems to be the big deal. So I don't know, interesting timing. But aside from that though, right now with that 74 and change, trading between this pivot and this S1. So really want to watch for it to fight and get above this 75.46. If not, then you will see a continued pullback. So 68.27 will be the next strong support. Given where Palantir's at, I don't see that 68 being touched whatsoever. But moving on, Broadcom. Same as NVIDIA, getting absolutely slaughtered. This one has had a lot of good growth and even future growth anticipated. So I think that this one potentially might be one that I buy the dip on. But aside from that, same for NVIDIA, not a squeeze stock. So 1.43% of the free float's being shorted. When they did have their earnings, it was kind of interesting to see that shorts actually did increase from 1.33% to pretty much a high of 3.34%. And then they largely learned that they are about to get slaughtered, and it actually stayed where it was. It wasn't just like a pump. And then they quickly returned. But yeah, going into today, 1.43% of the free float's being shorted. And right now with that 215, it is right above this pivot point. So definitely watch for that to be that kind of key pivot for today. If not, you could see a very further breakdown to 181, flip side 249. So it's literally stuck in limbo today. So definitely watch for that where it'll close. But last but not least, a very popular spec stock, so RGTI, and they are down 6.06%. Honestly, for given, like, you know, what they do for output, revenue, I was surprised the fact that they're only down 6%. And for instance, Broadcom and you have NVIDIA down like 10 to 12%. So maybe once this market, once like the market does open, you'll see a lot of puts, and then this might get hit very hard. So just kind of be cautious with a lot of the spec plays out there. But 19.54% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 49.13 million shares. And so when it comes down to this, shorts have been very reactive to the stock price. So ultimately anticipate them to really hit hard today and to try and bring it down. As far as a technical on that standpoint, with at $12.40, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 1138 is going to be the next strong support. 917 will be the following one. I don't anticipate either of those to be touched. Maybe at that 1138, if depending on how much selling does actually prompt once the market does open. Flip side, 1275. I think it's fair to kind of write that off as far as today, but it'd be nice if it does somehow get bought up. At the same time, I don't really know that much details about DeepSeek to say that it's an overreaction or not. I think logically, just knowing it for face value and what little I know of it, sounds like it's an overreaction. Like, to think that big American tech is behind the gun and that's a reason to prompt a sell-off, I think that's absolutely insane. But what do I know, right? So let me know your thoughts. Are you buying the dip today? Is there any other stocks that's floating your boat? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good information, a lot of good people out there. So you can kind of talk shop, options, whatever else. So definitely worthwhile to go over there. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.